Hi, Marilyn O'Malley here of MarilynO'Malley.com, and today I'm going to talk to you about time management and what to do to either start or complete a project. And so the first thing that you need to do is to get clear what is the outcome that you're wanting to create. So are you writing a book for an ebook for people to download to build your list? Are you writing a book to become an expert so you can get out and start speaking? Are you creating a painting, writing a piece of music for a movie? Doing whatever it is that you're doing, get clear on what exactly is the outcome. What will it look like? What is it that you want out of it? Why are you creating this? Why are you giving birth to this? This is really important because when you're struggling to make yourself do something that might be hard for you, it might be the first time you're writing a book or the first time you're creating for something at the level that you're creating it, it can feel unfamiliar and uncomfortable, and there can be a lot of resistance to creating it, even though you're so excited about doing it. So this is really important. What is it that you want, and why do you want it? And then the next step that I want you to do is to chunk it down. So one of the ways that I have my clients work with this is creating a mind map. And you can get a big piece of paper and in the center put a circle and put whatever it is that you're creating there, a book. And if you know the title, write the title as much as you know about it. And then you're going to have lines coming off of that circle in all directions, creating other circles that are going to be parts of that book, like marketing, writing it, creating the chapter outline, connecting with the publisher. There's, all the things that are related to that, and you will then have little lines coming off of that too. If it's needs more work, then that's just your main thing. So what are the little details of chunking down that circle, what you put into it? So writing the chapters, you might have each circle for a chapter, and you might have off of that research something or contact so and so for a story, etc. You just keep defining it as much as you can so you see all the things. It's the big overview picture, but you're not going to be looking at the big overall picture all the time, because for sensitive creatives that gets way too overwhelming. So what we want you to do is then you're going to, after you chunk it down, you're going to take one part of that, so one circle. So it might be you want to write a book, so you need to determine what are the chapters, what is it that I'm writing about, and so that's your first chunk. Now I want you to think, when do you want that done, and how much time will it take you to determine what the titles are, what your, a rough draft of what it is that you're going to write about. And so let's say it's going to take you 10 hours to do this. And so what I want you to do then, and then where's the end date? And I want you to get out your calendar, and from that end date backwards, I want you to fit into your calendar writing time to think about this, ponder it, go over it, work it. So you want to find places to, whether it's like 1 hour a day for 10 days, or it's 2 weeks, or 2 hours for 5 days, however you best work. See, this is where you get to design it so it's not too overwhelming, but you're chipping away at it. It's chunking. You're chunking away, chipping away at it. And each of those little steps that you take is getting you closer and closer. And so then when you do that, so it's in your schedule now. So now is to follow up and take actions on those dates. that is the biggest thing that you need to do after this. And one of the most important is to notice if you're not taking actions, because then the next step that I could tell you about is that we need to figure out what is keeping you from taking that step. So clearing any of the resistance that's there. So you might get help from a coach like me or somebody else. And also find somebody to help you stay accountable too, because it really does help having somebody, particularly before it becomes a habit and a routine and something that you feel more comfortable with, to have somebody that you can check in with and you can say, yes, I've done, somebody to celebrate that you did it, yay. So those are my recommendations for getting things done. I know it sounds very simple, but the resistance is a huge thing, so that's going to show up. And I want you to realize that when we're doing our big work in the world, and a lot of times writing a book or doing being creative, doing the things that we really love, that's expressing ourselves, that feels very vulnerable. And we might have vows and beliefs that, we can't do those things until we've taken care of everybody else, or we can't have what we really want. So you can dream about it, but you're never really going to take action on doing it, or it doesn't feel safe. It feels too vulnerable, like you might be judged or taken down by it. It brings up all your things about not being good enough or smart enough. All of those things come up as we start to do the work that's the big thing in our life, right? And you're meant to do that big thing. And it's going to be uncomfortable because it's unfamiliar and you're stretching yourself. You're doing something that you haven't done before. And that's all right. You got to there's no way that what you want to do in the world that's a big thing, that it's going to be easy and it's going to show up in a way that's not going to challenge you. You're growing, you're expanding, and you're helping other people. But it can be done in a way that is manageable, that's not overwhelming, that's not as stressful. And you can manage your stress and find ways to have it be very empowering. And it's also the thing about this too is when you're going after something really big that you've been really wanting to do, is the reason a lot of us don't do that too is we don't trust ourselves to do it. And as we build this muscle of doing things consistently and persistently, even though they don't feel good all the time doing it, we build a muscle of trust. We start to trust that we do what we say we're going to do, and we show up for ourselves. And that's very important, and that helps to build your confidence, and it starts to make you feel really good about what you're doing here. So I hope this helps. And if you think anybody else would enjoy this, please pass it on. If you have comments or would like to share with us what it is that you do to keep yourself in line with what it is that you're creating, and you're creating outcomes for yourself, please share that. That would be wonderful. And if you have any questions, again, ask those. All right, Marilyn O'Malley of MarilynO'Malley.com. Take care. Live a turned on life and do what you're called to do.